profession. Because do me a favor. How many years have you been involved in network marketing? Put the number into the chat. How many? Just the number. 5, 3, 20, 10? So I just want to tell you a quick story. It's going so fast, I'm trying to read it like the Matrix. But some of you have some experience. And remember going to your very first company convention? I don't know about you, but the first one I went to, one of my mentors told me, don't ever miss an event. Leaders are born at big events. So I never did. And I went to my first one, right? So I get there, I have no money. You know, I'm sharing a room with 3 other people. We taped the mini bar shut. We're making sandwiches, bringing, bottles of water to the convention area. And I'm pressed up against the door. I get up extra early and I'm waiting to try and be the first one in. And I'm racing up to the front to get as close up to the front as I can get. And I'm taking every note, so excited. And remember the first time you saw the recognition program? You saw somebody getting recognized? I'm like, oh my gosh. And I found out there's different kinds of recognition, right? There's stand up, sit down recognition. Everybody who's at this level, go ahead and stand up. Okay, sit down. And then there was fast walk recognition where you had to walk really, really fast and your photographer had to try and catch it as fast as they could because there's a lot of you. First time I did that, I was so proud, so excited. The photo didn't turn out, but I was going really, really fast. And then there was kind of the slow walk recognition where you get to stop and have a photo with like one of the executives, getting your pin or holding your trophy or something. And then they had the speech recognition. The person had their flowers and their oversized check and their trophies and the pins and all the stuff, and they get to go up and say a few words. And I was like, my eyes were this big, like that's going to be me. I started writing my speech. Like, oh my gosh, this is so exciting. These people look like normal people, and I want to have that too. So I went and left, and home with full of notes. I'm ready to go. But I don't know if it's ever happened to you, but life got in the way for me. I got distracted really easily. I thought I was going to go to the top for sure. But then stuff happened and things got in the way and I lost my focus. And pretty soon it's time to go to another event. Like, okay. So I go to the event and I get re-inspired. And the recognition comes again. I'm like, yes. Oh, these people, they're not any better than me. I get re-inspired, like I'm going to go. And then the 3rd event, and then the 4th event, and then the 5th event. And for me, I'll just tell you for me, the recognition thing started to hurt a little bit. Did it ever start to hurt a little bit for you? Because you know these people now. You're friends with them. And some of them aren't even very smart. And they're walking across the stage and they're getting all the awards and you're like, what is the matter? They don't even know what makes our product work. They don't even know how our compensation plan pays out. They don't know any of this stuff. And they're walking across talking about having 18,000 people on their team. And I started to think that there's something wrong with me. Maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I'm somehow getting in the way because these Forrest Gumps walking across the stage, I started to get cynical about it almost. And I remember going to an event that changed my life. And I'm sitting in the audience and I'm a little bit cynical now. I'm like rolling my eyes a little bit now. And, I'd sit and say to the people next to me, because I know the person coming up that was going to get another award, I'd say, here comes Charlie. Charlie's going to cry. Watch. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Charlie's crying. Told you. Called it. So I'm like, oh, This is so frustrating. But in that same event, I'm sitting there by myself, not even with my team, and I had this idea come in my head. What if I decide to become a professional here? What if I don't worry about momentum? What if I'm not concerned about luck? What if I stop looking for shortcuts? I don't worry about timing, positioning. Am I on the right team, wrong team? What if I just work on the skills necessary to build a big business? And not just in my head, but in practice, that I actually learn it and do it. If I become world class at this, maybe that's the secret. Maybe if I make that decision, nothing will get in my way. It was like, just like that. I will tell you, everything changed. My dominating emotion up to that point in my whole career, 3.5 years, full time, making just enough money to be miserable, making just enough money to be behind on my bills, making just enough money to pay my minimums on my credit cards, okay? So frustrated, so annoyed that I couldn't have a breakthrough. My dominating emotion for those 3.5 years was fear. Fear that I wasn't enough. Fear that maybe I lived in the wrong place in the world. Fear that I wasn't on the right team. Fear that maybe I wasn't with the right company. Fear that maybe I was the problem that was chasing people away. Afraid that I was going to miss the opportunity, have it walk by me and miss it. And once I made the decision, says, hold on, I'm just going to be a pro, and I'm not going to worry about timing, positioning, luck, strategies, magic, directions. I'm not going to worry about any of that. I'm just going to focus on being the best version of me and becoming world-class at the skills necessary to grow a business here. And in that moment of decision, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. All the fear just went, whew, gone. It's gone. And I know what my plan is. And I immediately became like a investigator. I said, okay, I have to find the people who know how to find prospects. And I'd start asking around, who do you know that is amazing at finding prospects, that have so many prospects that it's unlimited? And I would track those people down, and I'd buy them lunch, I'd buy them breakfast, and I'd start asking questions. I start to create a playbook. What are they doing? What are they saying? How are they finding all these people? Because I didn't know that many people. How are they networking professionally? How do they have a situation where they never run out of quality prospects? And I built a playbook. And I said, okay, what's the next step? They have to invite those people to understand what I had in product and in opportunity. So how do you invite people to take a look in a way that works and also duplicates? How do you do that? So I learned that it wasn't one size fits all. There's a direct approach for some people. There's an indirect approach for other people. There's a super indirect approach for highly successful people. I never knew. So I started collecting their scripts. I started asking people what they really did, not just what they trained on stage. What was the real story? Because I found out that a lot of the very top earners had a difficult time expressing what they really did. We have all these rhymey things in network marketing. If it is to be, it's up to me, and all that stuff. A lot of things that rhyme, and a lot of trainings that are repeated what was trained to us. But I was really interested what actually worked, and what was if success leaves clues, what were the clues that I could pick up from amazing, strong, best people? And could I do what they did? Could I learn it? And then the next thing was, how do I present to those people in a way that works but also duplicates, that they can go do it with the next person? How do I answer questions, overcome objections? Objections used to terrify me. And I learned to love them. How do I follow up, stay in conversation with people until they become fully educated and they can make a decision on the product or the opportunity? How do I help a person make a decision to say yes? How do I get more customers? How do I get more builders? How do I help those people launch their business? How do I promote for events? I started creating all this playbook. It turned into this book here, GoPro. The skills made a career for me. And I've got to tell you, once I made the decision and once I put the skills into place, it didn't take long. It didn't take long. I had worked hard for my first 3.5 years and didn't have much to show for it at all. And then the next 2 years, I became $1 million earner. When I was 29 years old, I would love to say I made $1 million in my 20s, but I didn't quite. I made $980,000. And I would have given them $20,000 just to be able to have the second comma in my 1099. You know? A lot of people have one comma in the number that they get paid for the year. You got to get to 2 commas. That's special, right? 29 years old, I make it to this level. And that started a run of many, many years of earning $1 million a year. And over the course of the 35 years that I've been involved, I will tell you a couple things. First, network marketing isn't perfect. It has its challenges. It's judged for sure. It's misunderstood for sure. It's emotional, way more emotional than a regular job, way more emotional than a traditional small business, which was surprising to me. So it's not perfect, but if you have an entrepreneurial bone in your body, it's better. It's better than any form of entrepreneurship for the average person. There is nothing on earth that compares with a low price of entry, the high potential return, the amount of support, the amount of patience, the amount of flexibility. It doesn't discriminate. I mean, it's amazing. It's better than anything you can point to out there for a side hustle. Nothing even close. Number 2, if you're going to do it, if you're going to be involved, I would wish one of 2 things for you. If your expectations are here, your dreams are here, but your commitment level is here, you're always going to be frustrated. You're always going to be feeling bad. So one thing has to change. Either your commitment has to go up or your expectations have to come down. See, I would rather you have a low vision, have a low dream and low commitment and just enjoy yourself. You know, just enjoy yourself. Have fun. You put in a few hours here. You're not expecting the world. You get a check. You go, oh, wow, look, I got a check. This is amazing. And just be happy. But if you have a high commitment, you got to change, a high dream, you have to change the commitment up to the level of that dream. That means you have to become a professional. That means you need to learn the skills. That means there's 4 things that we do. You got to master all 4. 1, you need to learn how to sell. Nothing wrong with selling. Some people say, we don't sell, we share. We sell, come on. You got to sell. Some you're selling products, some you're selling the idea of your business, whatever. Selling. Nothing happens unless you sell the product. Number 2, you need to you can expand a team by recruiting. So recruiting. Build an ever-expanding team of other people who are selling as well. And the great thing about your business is there's no limits. You can recruit as many people as you have the skill to recruit and the will to recruit. You can recruit. There's nothing stopping you. Third thing that we do is we duplicate. We teach other people how to sell and recruit. And now we start to get leverage. The first 2 things, let me tell you what they are. They're not really a business yet. It's just a job. Selling and recruiting, It's just a job. You're trading time for money. Pull you out, you slow down, everything falls apart, right? So that's the job side of our business. If you want to get into the business side, the leverage, scale, duplication is number 3. Teaching people how to teach people how to teach people. Building a team that doesn't need you. Taking a person that's dependent on you and helping them become independent from you. An independent business owner. Not so needy on you all the time. My first 3.5 years, I had no duplication. And then I finally cracked the code. Like, oh my gosh. Finally, I have people on my team that are working without me pushing them. It was like a dream. So 1, sell. 2, recruit. 3, duplicate. And 4, we lead. We increase the productivity of our teams based upon our leadership. If there's 2 teams of 100 people, same quality people, one has a great leader, one has a terrible leader. Which one's going to get more results over time? The great leader. Our job as leaders is to get people to do more of the correct activities than they were going to do without us. Get people to take action that they wouldn't have taken. Help people see the vision. Help people understand the game plan and the strategy and the systems inside of the organization. So sell, recruit, duplicate, lead. 4 things we do. It's not like going to become a medical doctor. You can learn these 4 things. I did, and I had a 1.8 GPA in high school. So I was nobody's prize. What I was so grateful for is this profession would give me, it was patient, and it gave me time to figure it out. And once I figured it out, and once you figure it out, you don't have to worry about making money for the rest of your life. You really don't. These skills will make a career for you, will create a future for you. I would also tell you, anything worthwhile takes time. You need to put your head down and run when the company's ready to run and there's momentum. You're going to learn in the doing, not just in the study, but you're going to learn by doing more than anything else. But have urgency, but be patient with yourself at the same time. You can get tricked by seeing somebody just overnight, they're making big money, and you feel like there's something wrong with you. I have something called a 1-3-5-7 formula. It's going to take you about 1 year to get competent and profitable in a new business like this. It's going to take you about 1 year. How long did it take you in number of months to feel like you were competent and profitable in your business? How long did it take? You can put that in the chat. But on average, about 1 year. Right? 3, the 1-3-5-7, it's going to take you about 3 years to replace a full-time income on average. It's going to take you about 3 years of serious, focused effort to replace your job. Be able to go, you can go full-time faster like I did, but to replace that job income that you had. It's going to take about 5 years to become a high-level income earner. It's going to take about 7 years for you to become a legend, for you to become a player. 1-3-5-7. Now here's the good news. You're going to be 7 years older anyway. You might as well become an absolute world-class pro at the end of that 7. Think about how fast the last 7 happened. It was what, 2016 to 2023? Went pretty quick. So good news is there's going to be pockets of momentum and excitement that happen inside of your 1-3-5-7, and you're going to get a quick little boost. You're going to get, the company's going to be hot. There's going to be momentum, and things are going to go crazy inside of your country. There's a new flavor, and everybody goes nuts, right? And you're going to make some extra money. But be careful when you make that extra money and you're not that level of a leader yet, because if you don't quickly grow to the level of leadership required to be able to earn that income long term, the income's going to come back down to the level of leader that you are. You cannot out-earn your own personal development. In our business, you can become more and earn more. But if you don't become more, eventually the earnings are going to come back down. So it's happened to me 15 times over the course of my career. 15 times. Where I out-earned myself and I thought I was a genius and I thought I was, everything I touch turns to gold and all of this stuff. I got a little ego involved. And then something happened, and there's always something to blame. There's a reason why. But once I finally realized that it was all on me, I needed to master these 4 things, and I needed to become better than I was if I expected to earn more than I was earning. Once I took responsibility, and it wasn't on the company, it wasn't on the upline, it wasn't on anything, it was just me. I learned to absolutely refuse to blame anything else or anyone else for my problems. I realized that blame was a dead-end street. And I also realized that if you start going down the road of, I'd like to do a little bit less and I'd like to make a little bit more, you start tiptoeing down that road. I'd like to do less and make more. Sounds exciting, right? Well, the end of that road is I want to do nothing and make everything. So we all agree you can't go there. You can't do nothing and make everything. So what if I go down a different road that says I'm going to become more and I'm going to commit more so I can earn more? I'm not going to be focused on luck, timing, positioning. I'm not going to live with these limiting beliefs. I'm going to take responsibility and I'm going to crush it. I'm going to go out there and smash. I'm going to show everybody who ever doubted me that they were wrong. I'm going to show everybody that ever believed in me that they were right. And some of you, I got to talk to you about one thing for a second. And there's guilt involved in our business. Sometimes you just weren't quite there and you brought people in and you weren't prepared to be able to help them. So they quit. And some of you, if you're like me, you feel a little guilty. I wasn't the leader I needed to be. And I'm sorry. If you are a better leader, man, they could have been amazing, but I was just terrible. I was inconsistent. I let my ego get in the way. I didn't know what to tell them. I didn't know what to teach them. So frustrating. So I would just recommend to you as a friend, let that guilt go. One, they're responsible for their success. You're not responsible for another person's success or failure. That's on them. Two, learn from it. Don't let it define you, and certainly don't let it slow you down. If you burned bridges, you made mistakes, you screwed up, it's okay. That's normal. I don't trust somebody who hasn't screwed up at some point, who hasn't had a big disaster and a big crash at some point in their life. I don't even trust them because they don't even know. I mean, if somebody's gone through that and they're on the other side, say, you know what? That moment didn't define me. That moment just helped me. And John mentioned when he was introducing me, he said, there's a time where he took a little time off. He was being kind. Here's what really happened. I made all this money, did tremendous things, and I was on top of the world. I remember I'm in a golf cart on Halloween, smoking a cigar, and I'm driving the kids up, back and forth to houses. I got like $9 million in my stock portfolio. I'm making $1 million a year, and I'm building a $4 million dream house. I'm halfway done with it. And I'm like, I'm on top of the world. This is just unbelievable. And 6 months later, the whole $9 million stock portfolio was gone. My $1 million income was gone. My house was still half built. I got betrayed in the biggest, most outrageous way a person can get betrayed without, and I never even found out until years later. I had a lawsuit that was completely meritless, and I got audited by the IRS all in those 6 months. And I owed like $700,000 in taxes. Got bad advice from an accountant. So I would have taken zero. Give me zero any day. I didn't have zero. I had way less than zero. So if any of you are in a tough time, I will just tell you, it takes a minute. There was times during that season where I couldn't even really breathe. It was so hard. But I will tell you this, I wouldn't trade it for anything in the world. It was the greatest gift I was ever given. And I came out of it so committed and so focused. And if I'm honest, there was a little bit of vengeance in me that wanted to show the world. It drove me to do things I wouldn't have normally done. Yeah, I was super motivated. I would make them eat their words. People who were taking shots. And that fueled me for a minute, okay? And I was able to let go of that anger, but don't underestimate anger. Some of you need to be angry at what you've allowed in your life. Some of you need to be angry at the situations that you've created or that you've allowed. Some of you need to be angry that you've been allowed to have the world push you around. It's okay to use that anger to inspire you, to have you do something bigger. It's okay. It fueled me, but it doesn't have to define you. After the anger, I found a different way of fuel. The fuel, after I got it all figured out, after I rebuilt, after I stuffed it in their faces, then I could calm down and focus on contribution, focus on helping people, focus on pouring myself into people who are ready to change their lives too. But I'm telling you, don't diminish tough times. Don't diminish mistakes. Don't diminish screwing up. Don't diminish letting your ego get in the way. Don't diminish your team falling apart. It was all happening for you and for everybody else. It happened for a reason. What's necessary is, what are you going to do on the other side of the difficulty? Some of you in difficulty right now. What are you going to do now? Let me give you one quick strategy. If any of you are in really serious situations right now, put a number 7 in the chat if you're in a serious situation and you're not quite sure how you're going to deal with it. A lot of 7s. Let me tell you what I did. I was so traumatized by my situation that it was consuming every ounce of my thoughts, and I couldn't sleep. I was stuck in my head, this circle in my head. And if you're like me, the mail, I have post-traumatic stress from the mail, because the mail would turn different colors. It would be, a green notice, and it would be an orange notice, and it would be a red notice. And I'd start getting certified mail, and then people would start calling me, and people was pounding on me. The tax man was calling, the state taxes was calling, credit card people were calling. You said the check was in the mail. What's going on? So let me tell you how I dealt with it. Because I knew if I stayed in that constantly thinking about it 24 hours a day, I was never going to get out. There wasn't a future for me other than stress. So here's what I did. I took every ounce of my struggle and I forced it into 3 hours a week. 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. every Monday. I faced every single challenge of my life in those 3 hours. I opened up every piece of mail. I called every creditor. I called the IRS. I called state taxes. I called the people I was behind on credit cards. I called them all. And I looked at everything. I dealt with everything. I talked with attorneys during that period of time. I called them all and said, look, I have nothing. I have nothing to give you, but I'm calling you. Is anybody else that owes you money calling you? I'm calling you. And I'm going to call you every Monday. I'm going to let you know what I can do. It's $100 for now. That's all I could do. I owed the IRS $700,000 before interest and penalties. And I convinced them to pay $1,000 a month, and they would leave me be and let me build. So I was calling them, and they screamed and they hollered and they yelled and they threatened. We're going to embarrass you. I'm already embarrassed. We're going to call your friends and call you a deadbeat. Go ahead. They already know. I've told them all. Well, yeah, but we're going to lean this. We're going to do that. Fine. If you do, I'll just file bankruptcy and I won't be able to pay you. I couldn't say that to the IRS, but I could say it to everybody else. I don't want to. If you'll let me go to work and you don't hound me, let me do what I need to do, then I will pay you. But I can't do it today. So they screamed and hollered, and I said, okay, fine. I'll call you on Monday. And then and what 1 o'clock hit, boom. I took all that, I put it in a box, and I refused to focus on it for 1 minute for the rest of the week. And I focused on income producing activities. The only thing I could control. My focus and the income producing activities that will get me out. And I refused. If somebody asked me a question, no. I talk about that between 10 and 1. That's the only time I talk about it. And I will talk to you about it. And I'm happy to talk to you about it, but not now. I'm focused on my rebuild. And some of you need to be focused on your rebuild instead of focused on your problem. I put the problem and I faced it. And I'm proud of what I did. And I'm proud that I called everybody. Here's what I tell you. In about 4 weeks, everybody said, you don't have to call anymore. We appreciate you. We didn't believe it the first time you called, second time, third time, fourth time. Just let us know. Give us an update every once in a while. You're different. They put me mentally in a different category than every other one of their creditors. And guess what? I paid them all. I paid every single one to the penny. What I owed plus interest. So the only way out is to put your problems in a controllable situation and then focus on income producing activities. So you in this company have income producing activities, yes? It's called conversations with people who can make a decision about your product, your opportunity. It's called getting people started effectively. It's called developing your skills so you can reach more of the world. It's called mastering these 4 skills in every other minute of the week. Not just occasionally here and there, but if you have a job, do the job. But in your other time, create your future. If you got problems, put the problems in a small box. And also, be willing to tell the world. When I did that, and I started building with a company, I was so terrified that everybody was going to find out that I wasn't such a big shot, that my house was in foreclosure, that I was using my mom and dad's American Express card to book a flight to go to Chicago, 2 states away, because I didn't have, the credit cards were done, they're toast. I needed somebody else's credit card to get a hotel room or rent a car. So I went up on stage, my very first event, and I told them everything. Here's exactly what happened, and do not bet against me. I will not be a slave to another man. And the only reason I be a slave is by lying to him. Once you lie to the world, you become the world's slave from that moment forward. I'm just telling you. And you know what I've realized? Everybody's gone through one of these Armageddons. Everybody's gone through one of these difficult situations. And you'll be surprised. If you try and act like you're a big shot and you don't have any problems, people are just going to roll their eyes at you. And they'll be happy to find your flaws. But if you just tell them your flaws, here's all the ways I screwed up. I screwed up a million ways. But bet against me. That'll be fun. Go ahead. Bet against me. Tell me I'm not going to win. I need it. Please. Tell me I'm going to fail. Bring it. Watch me. And I look people in the eye and say, look, you get close to me right now, it's the smartest move you'll ever make in your life. Because one, I'm not going to let you lose if you're leaning forward in this business. And two, I'm going to be loyal to the people who are loyal with me at this moment. You get around me, you're going to make more money. For sure. Trust me. We're going to do something big. So I came to tell you all of this and also let you know, coming out of those ashes, like some of you need to come out of the ashes, right? It's the other side of the Job story. You can come out of those ashes. And there's something powerful on the other side for you. Since then, I've now helped about 1,000 people to make $1 million a year in this profession. $1 million a year in network marketing. 1,000. I've helped tens of thousands to make 6 figures. All over the world. Over 100 countries. And I've helped millions of people to get a little bit better. To have a nice part-time income. To enjoy it. I'm telling you this, that everything I went through for the last 35 years, what happened so I would be ready for this moment right now with you. I'd absolutely know exactly what to do in order to be able to help you have the breakthrough that you want to have. I don't know how big your dreams are, but I will tell you, I can help you in the pursuit of those dreams. So I want to tell you about a way that I can help you in the next couple weeks. And a massive investment your company has made in each and every one of you. I just need 3 things, okay? 3 things. If you want to have a breakthrough, 3 things. 1, you need to be willing. I can't help you. I can't drag you across the finish line. You got to be willing to be part of the solution, part of your rescue. Number 2, you need to be coachable, because I can't help you if you won't listen. I just can't. I'm going to let you be. If you're coachable and you'll listen, I can help you. And 3, you need to be hungry. And I prefer starving. Hungry for more. Hungry, dissatisfied. Hungry enough to change. Hungry enough to be uncomfortable. Hungry enough to do something. Hungry enough to stretch. So, if you're willing, coachable, and hungry, put a number 3 into the chat. For real. And even you people sitting on the sidelines, I want you to type it in because I want it to be real. There's good news and bad news about these 3 things. Here's the good news. I'll give you the bad news first. If you're not all 3, I can't help you. Sorry. You have to let me know when you are all 3. But if you're not, I can't help you. I can't spend any time with you. I can't invest in you. It's not worth it. But here's the good news. If you have these 3 things, that's all you need. You don't need to have background, education, skill, success. Your race doesn't matter. Your gender doesn't matter. The country that you live in doesn't matter. None of it matters. If you have these 3, that's all you need. That's all I need to help you become the best version of yourself and earn what you're really worth. So, let me tell you about how I can help, and let me tell you what the company has done for you. I've hosted an event for the last 13 years. This is the 14th year, called Go Pro. It's a 3-day event. This year is held December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd. December 1, 2, 3, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. And this event, which is going to be translated in English and Spanish, is the Super Bowl or the World Cup of network marketing. And there's never been a more important time for people to get the training that's going to be in this event than right now. To prepare you to become a part of your forever company, the company that's just going to absolutely had momentum, came out of momentum, ready to go into momentum again. Okay? That's why you're all here. 3 days. And in the past, I've had a lot of other trainers. This year, it's just me training. I'm the only trainer. Day one, I'm going to teach you how to recruit. What's working right now. No matter what your skill level, no matter what your background, no matter what your experience, I'm going to teach you how to recruit. You're going to leave day one saying, I have a plan, I know what to do, I'm going to go put it into action. Day two is all about duplication. I struggled so hard with duplication. I'm going to teach you how to get people to work with or without you. How to take people who are dependent on you and make them become independent from you. Duplication. Number 2, day 2, December 2nd on Saturday. December 3rd, Sunday, is everything about leadership. How do you become the best leader that your team deserves and you deserve? And how do you find people on your team that have the potential of being a leader as well? And how do you mentor them into leadership? Now, let me brag on your company for a second. A ticket for this event is $197 US. There's 400 people that are attending in person for a much higher ticket. That are attending in person, that's all sold out. We have a $20 million studio here in Las Vegas where we're going to be broadcasting this event to your home, directly to your home. You can have it in your living room. You can invite as many people over and have a watch party as you want. You can have it to your phone, you can have it to your computer, you can have it up on your screen, live. $197 total. Worth every penny. It's worth thousands of dollars. But here's why I'm proud of your company and why you should thank your company. $197, worth it. The company believes so strongly in you and your future that they want to invest in your education. They want to help you attend this event, and they want to invest in your ticket. They want you to have a little skin in the game. They want you to have a little bit of, commitment. So the company, for every one of you and every person on your team, is going to pay $150 of the $197 on your behalf. So all you have to pay is $47. So think about all the people that are on this right now. Company's gonna pay $150. You only have to pay $47. That's one of the benefits for being involved in your company, because they're willing to invest in you, not only in what they do with products and opportunity, but in your education. You know how rare that is? It's unbelievably rare. So every one of you has a chance to get 3 full days of training in English and Spanish, plus a 3 days worth of replay afterwards if you want to watch anything else or if anything gets in the way. And all you have to pay is $47 because the company's paying the other $150. So I asked you if you had those 3 things. Are you willing, coachable, and hungry? And this event, December 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, is a little bit of a test to find out if you're willing, coachable, and hungry. Because you cannot tell me that $47 is in the way of you making this decision. If you have to get 10 people together, $5 each. In some countries around the world, have them come to your house and do it together. I don't care. However you do it. I can imagine 5,000, 10,000 of you in this company, in living rooms all over the world, in watch parties all over the world, all learning how to become a recruiting machine, a duplication machine, and how to have a leadership factory inside of your organization. So I hope you're as proud of your company as I am, as an outsider looking at it, that they want to partner with you and help you become the best possible version of you. So here's the link. Let me give you the link and then I'll throw it back. Here's the link. Take a picture of this or screenshot this picture, because if you're on right now and somebody on your team is not on, you need to make sure that they go either barcode, you learned how to use that in the restaurant that you went to during the pandemic, or if you see the link, gopro2023.com/TLC, that will get you access. Now, let me give you some urgency. I don't know how long the company is going to commit to paying $150 for every single one of your team members. So I would encourage you to get a ticket fast, like now. Lock it up right now. Everybody that's on this Zoom, lock up your ticket. Start inviting people to your house. And then take that screenshot, take that link, and send it to everybody. Just insist that they attend this event wherever they are in the world with you. There's no excuse. There's no reason not to. I believe that you guys are preparing right now for another massive wave of growth in your company. And you're going to have more skills now and more leadership now to be able to hold it. Instead of it being higher than your development, you as a group are going to rise to the level of record-breaking sales as people. Can you see that? A year from now, everything being different. 2 years from now, everything being changed. 3 years from now, everything totally expanded around the world. I can. If you'll give me those 3 days, just 3 days of focus, 3 days, clear your schedule, 3 days, lock in. I'll give you everything that I've learned in 35 years.